Hey Mike, what is with the box?
Oh, hey AJ. They were selling Profiteroles down at the store. I bought all of them.
Okay. Anyway, I was gonna review Sonic 06. I wondered if you wanted to do it with me?
Yeah, sure. I want to use a player for Profiteroles!
Right, here we go. Sonic 06.
Oh.
No thanks, I can't stand the things. Sonic the Hedgehog, or Sonic 06 as it has come to be known, is a Sonic game developed by Sonic Team for the Xbox 360 and PS3. I'm reviewing the Xbox version because I've never owned a PS3 and it's a bit late to start now.
I have a PS3.
Thanks, Mike. I'm not sure whether or not this game was originally intended to be a reboot of the Sonic the Hedgehog series, but it certainly looks like that was the idea at some point. It's not a reboot though, it's part of the series canon, so I guess I'll have to try and explain away any doubts about that as we go. So we begin our story in Soliana, a city that was so blatantly modelled after Venice that I'm still hunting around trying to find the one McDonald's. The inhabitants are celebrating their Festival of the Sun. Here we see Princess Elise, the sovereign of this tiny country, because her parents are dead. We'll get to that later. She lights the unnecessarily ostentatious torch, and things go to shit faster than you can say, "Holy shit, we're being attacked by terrorists, oh, it's just Dr. Eggman." He claims to be after Elise, as well as the Blue Chaos Emerald, which she's had in her possession for 10 years. Okay, I know what you're thinking. How the hell can this game be canon if she's had the Chaos Emerald for 10 years? Surely if this were true, then the previous games couldn't have happened because they all involved all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds, except Sonic 1, which only had 6. Well, there's always the possibility that it got stolen somewhere down the line and somehow made its way back to her, but that's so unlikely that it borders on absurdity, so here's the explanation I've come up with. This game must take place at least 10 years after the events of the previous game, Sonic Heroes.
Don't you mean Shadow the Hedgehog?
No, I do not mean Shadow the Hedgehog. That game is a pile of garbage, it completely contradicts the story of Sonic Adventure 2, and until I can be convinced otherwise, I absolutely refuse to accept it as canon. It does not exist in my mind. Got it?
Yeah.
Good. So anyway, it's 10 years after the events of Heroes, which means all the characters are now 10 years older. Sonic is 25, Amy is 22, and Tails is 18 and hasn't hit puberty yet for some reason. That's my explanation, and I'm sticking to it. So Sonic comes in and saves the day, but he turns his back for like 3 seconds and Elise gets kidnapped. She throws him the Chaos Emerald, but Eggman decides he doesn't need it anymore because he has Elise. So he presumably intends to make her his queen when he's king of the world or something.
Isn't there like some sort of big age gap between the two?
Well, yeah, but then she is qualified for the position, I suppose. Sonic decides he's had enough of this shit for one day and presumably calls in at the nearest hotel for a good night's sleep and a hearty breakfast. He comes across Tails and the two somehow manage to catch up with the egg carrier despite its head start of several hours. They do lose it over the ocean though because Sonic can't swim and Tails' plane the Tornado is getting serviced or something, I guess. They then go to the dusty desert because the guards are blocking it. Yeah, let me explain something about these guys. They are the most useless law enforcement troop in the entire gaming universe. Worse than the police force in Pokemon Coliseum. Worse than the guards in Assassin's Creed. Worse than whoever the hell guards Princess Peach's palace. These guys are the pits. Not only do they not do a goddamn thing when Princess Elise gets captured by Eggman, but when Sonic steps up to do their job for them, they f***ing get in his way by making him perform stupid tasks before he's even allowed to try. Look at this prick. He won't let me through until I guess which one of his mates is the captain. 2 of them are lying. I don't give a flying fuck which one of you is the captain, matey. I'm trying to save your sovereign from a fucking terrorist. Oh, so you're the captain, are you? That's good to know, actually. Now I know the first person I'm gonna fire when Princess Elise makes me your boss. Fuck you, sir. Fuck you. So Sonic rescues the princess from Dusty Desert, but when they get back to the city, Sonic gets attacked by Silver, a psychic hedgehog from the future. Yeah, let's rewind, or should I say fast forward to the beginning of Silver's story. About 200 years in the future, Silver and Blaze are living in an artist's depiction of hell. The reason for this drastic landscape redecoration? The eternal demon named Iblis.
Wait. Blaze, isn't she like the cat girl from Sonic Rush?
Yeah, it's the same character, but she's from the future now instead of from the Soul Dimension. I'm gonna try and explain this as best I can, but that'll have to wait for later. So anyway, Silver has just about had enough of fighting Iblis eternally without any results when, as if on cue, he's approached by Mephiles the Dark, a hedgehog that looks very similar to Shadow and is clearly an evil dickhead. But Silver decides to trust him anyway. Mephiles says he can use his time-travelling powers to help Silver save the future. He reveals that the person responsible for Iblis being released, the so-called Iblis Trigger, is none other than Sonic the Hedgehog. He also tells Silver that if he wants to save his world, he must kill Sonic before he does the thing that releases Iblis. I'm assuming from this that we're going by the single universe theory of time travel, because if Silver and Blaze were to screw with the space-time continuum, they would probably create an alternate universe where they were never born. The single universe theory implies that they can't stop themselves from being born because it would have already happened and they wouldn't be alive to go back in time, but it would also mean that their actions in the past couldn't change the future because they would have already changed it and then there'd be no need to... Ah, my head hurts! So, it's not the single universe theory.
So what they're doing is not saving their own future, but creating an ultimate future to go and live in.
Okay. Anyway, the three travel back in time but get separated. Silver sees Sonic, but before he can move in for the kill, he's nearly raped by Amy, who mistakes him for Sonic. Jeez, what is it with people in the Sonic universe thinking every hedgehog is Sonic? You'd at least think Amy, another hedgehog, would recognise Silver as not being Sonic.
Probably not, because I think hedgehogs are colourblind.
Okay, good point. But what about the marijuana hair? I don't know. Amy suggests they team up as she is also looking for someone. She drags Silver around on a wild goose chase, but the sheer beauty of the past compared to his own devastated future world spurs him on. They do eventually spot Sonic where Silver goes back into kill mode and assaults him, bringing us back to where we left off. So Sonic and Silver fight, and God is this boss fight annoying. The camera won't focus on Silver, so you have to run around and hope you don't run into him. The only advantage you have over Silver is your speed, which has been dramatically cut since the previous game. Sonic can't run fast, except in these little sections where you have very, very limited control. I realise that this makes him easier to control than in Heroes, but you could have at least given him a sprint button. They do have a gem that allows you to do a boost, but why isn't this an innate ability? I should be able to do this anyway, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. Whatever, details. It doesn't matter who wins the fight because Silver grabs Sonic with his psychokinesis. Oh yeah, that's Silver's power, by the way. He's not fast like Sonic, and he's not strong in the slightest, so literally everything in terms of Silver's gameplay revolves around using psychokinesis. From picking things up, throwing things, opening doors...
And flying.
Yeah, and flying, although he does a hell of a lot more of that in the cutscenes than you can in the actual game. While the two hedgehogs are fighting, Elise gets kidnapped by Eggman again. Silver then goes to deal the killing blow, but Amy jumps in the way to protect Sonic, who then just leaves her to deal with this raging psychopath. Nice job, Sonic. Not only are you not a gentleman, you're an absolute c***. Amy scolds Silver for trying to kill Sonic, casting off his excuse, saying that even if he were the Iblis Trigger, she still wouldn't let him be killed. Now, as you probably expect, there is some truth to Mephiles' story, but it's not the whole truth. Technically, Sonic is the Iblis Trigger, but not for the reason Silver thinks. He doesn't know that though, so off he goes to hunt Sonic down and kill him for real. Sonic meets up with Tails and Knuckles, who have received a message from Eggman saying that the princess is at his base in the White Acropolis, and that if they want to see her return safe, they'll give him the Blue Chaos Emerald.
Why isn't Knuckles guarding the Master Emerald?
He probably got fired from that job after leaving it unguarded for 3 days during the events of Sonic Heroes. That or he only works weekdays. So they go to the White Acropolis, but Eggman springs his trap as soon as they give him the emerald, using his new machine to send them forward in time 200 years.
That's oddly specific.
Yeah, I know. They arrive in Silver's time, where they conveniently run into Shadow and Rouge, and if there's one thing I'll rip on about the story, it's how fucking convenient everything is. So, rewind to the beginning of Shadow's story. Shadow now works for GUN, the very same people that killed Maria. For fuck's sake, game, why would you think that could possibly make sense? Don't tell me because it's a reboot, because it's not! Anyway, Shadow works for GUN now, probably because he plans on bringing the organisation down from the inside. Whatever, he sneaks into Eggman's base at the White Acropolis to rescue Rouge and retrieve the Scepter of Darkness, a mysterious artifact the origins of which aren't really explained. He escorts Rouge to Kingdom Valley, where they run into Eggman, who wants his scepter back. Amidst the scuffle, Rouge and the scepter plummet towards the Earth. Shadow, being much more of a gentleman than Sonic, chooses to save Rouge over the scepter. The scepter hits the ground and a mysterious black thing is released from it, causing Eggman to retreat. The mysterious black thing absorbs Shadow's own shadow, causing it to manifest itself in a form that resembles Shadow. Shadow's new twin introduces itself as Mephiles the Dark and seems to know Shadow, saying that he must now return some sort of favour that Shadow did for him. With that, he sends Shadow and Rouge to the distant future 200 or so years from the present day, where they quickly deduce where, or when, they are. They also immediately run into Team Sonic. For God's sake, game. Right, so now we're up to speed, well, figuratively anyway. Sonic and Shadow find 2 Chaos Emeralds but are confronted by a giant penis monster which turns out to be one of Iblis's many forms. After defeating Iblis, they use Chaos Control to create a space-time rift to transport them back to the present. Shadow notices Mephiles, however, and stays behind to fight him.